We have a special feature like that we want to recommend for the Italian audience.
Yeah.
It's an old Italian opera. We would like to play it for you. Special, check it out. One of the best tracks we've ever heard. And it's unbelievable.
We're making a cover.
Yeah.
The band started as a creative workshop, producers workshop, and Tamir and myself in New York. And Tomer was one of our guests in the first album. We invited him for the first beginning of the live show, which came 6 months later after the album. And it's just chemistry, between people. It started as Tamir and I for the first 2 albums, and then we really enjoyed working with Tomer, and he just became part of it and leading frontman, and many songs are with lyrics and MC, and so it just became a trio.
We just got into the studio, experimented, and kind of wrapped it up with the first name that came to mind, or maybe the 10th name that came to mind, but something that really kind of wrapped our initial idea, and nobody really imagined where it's going to go. So I don't know, 6-7 years later, I'm not really sure that we would call it the same. And that's why now it's kind of BBB, because it's maybe we extended the music to other places. And I wouldn't diss it, because it is something that kept us really rooted to the original idea. And still does, Could easily become generic if not, I feel so. Each one of us have its specialty, and we still involve in each other's work. So it's a work of a trio, and everything is being kind of written together. I work on a beat, and Ori comes up with a melody. Tomer is writing lyrics. There's no specific order to how we work, and we don't come prepared to the studio at all. We come prepared with ideas, but not with specifics. So we really go into the studio and create it together every day. Usually by the end of the day, there is like 80% of the idea. And then we just revisit till we feel like it's ready.
But, everybody's taking their corner, having some time in their corner, and then we meet in the middle, mash it up.
Every record we set a different challenge for ourselves. And we always try to push the envelope and do something else that we haven't done. On the other hand, there's so many influences between the 3 of us, so we have to kind of tie one leg and say, okay, let's see what happens if we tie one leg. People say, hey, music, what can you do? And, you're just dreaming, and is this going to bring peace in the Middle East? And, what are you trying to do? You never... But then again, we're thinking, hey, we grew up on listening to, Bob Marley. It did affect us. It did, some values came from that. So, yes, it does have a power, and we try to use it positively. And that's why we have politics in our music, because our everyday life is so under threat of such dark, evil forces that if we don't do it, we will be hypocritical to ourselves. That's the feeling right now.
It can be an influence. It can arouse a new thought. That's what I think we are trying to do. We're trying to arouse and provoke new thoughts in people, just in hope that they'll see other possibilities and see other alternatives to, everything that's going on. And that's why it's mostly important for us to talk to people that don't think like us. Especially in a small country like Israel, you know, if you happen to be in a wedding or something like that and you hear this amazing, I don't know, singer sings with on darbuka, you know, like something like that. But you don't see this guy in prime time television, you know.
Ori always says it, and I'll repeat it again. I don't think this band could have existed the way it is in Israel. The freedom that New York gave us made the entrance of the sound. I started with violin, it's true, yeah. But I played for a year and I came to my parents and told them that I already know it and I need to move to the next instrument.
When he told him, I know it, his father said, come on, let's hear you play. And like,
a tone higher, but that. I don't remember myself doing anything else ever. I always made music from the... I think I made music before I remember.
no, I had a whole acting career before I started making music. But I knew that that's what I want. I want to make music. And my first instrument, my mother's pans. Not pans, but pots and pans. That was my first instrument. Then I upgraded myself to a real drum set. That was my first instrument. Really?
I'm not working with it anymore.
One drummer is enough.